Hi, I'm Karen Hurt, and welcome to part 3 of our 2021 Asking for a Friend highlights reel. I want to thank all of my fabulous guests and all of you for joining us and asking great questions and helping engage in the conversation. Stay tuned for a wonderful lineup that we have planned for you this year.
As a leader, I want you to ask yourself this question. When I was a child, what did I need that I couldn't get or couldn't get enough of? Now, I know you're not expecting that question on a leadership show, but as a child, what did I need that I couldn't get or couldn't get enough of? Because that's what you're still trying to get. And until you tap into that and understand it, you're working unconsciously in ways that can be quite damaging. You have greatness within you, but you can only find that greatness in your vulnerability with yourself and with others.
The thing that we've not really solved, is the gap between knowing and doing. So when we look at what are the new behaviors that we would expect after the crisis, how do we get them down from talking about them to everyday actions?
For any of us who thought making connections wasn't worth your time, the science shows if you make a meaningful attempt at building connections and meaningful connections over your lifetime, your life will be longer. Even more than if you ate kale every day and ran every day.
We are in a world in flux, and the future is not more certain. The future is not more stable. The future is actually more change and more flux. And so, as I like to say, when everything is in flux, everything can benefit.
If your first frontline manager says, hey, this is working, we're getting the work done and more, we got this under control, your top executives are not going to interfere much with that. So we got to make sure that that's working, because that's the big resistor.
You're not going to be ready for the big moments. You're not going to be ready to show up if you don't put in the work every day. Think of choosing competent courage just like you would think of training for a 10K or learning to play a difficult instrument. You don't start right out of the gate with the hardest.
That's one other thing that I'm suggesting to leaders is that whether they're going back or not, we need to check back in, reconnect people. But we also need to say maybe, you know what, let's talk about what's worked during this year and a half. What of our pivots do you want to continue doing? What do you want to stop doing? And what do you want to start doing?
Our goal is to create confidence. When there's a problem, you don't just fix a problem, you restore confidence. We're doing everything we can to make the experience such that a customer has the confidence to want to do business with us again.
I still get new ideas from people every day. It's like, oh my gosh. But initially, at the simple level, it's just thanking people. But beyond that, you can be very, very creative, even without a budget. 2/3 of the ideas in that book don't have any cost at all, and it's just being creative and open and trying things. And if it works, do it again. If it doesn't, how could it have been better?
No matter how bad it gets, you've got to commit not to quit. You really, really do. That's one thing I've learned, and it's been something that I check myself constantly on, that we're in this together. That being vulnerable, going into dark spots, doubting your confidence, doing missteps, it's everything that we do. But I would say keep culture a top priority. Keep growing and learning a top priority.
Workload is heavy. Most people are carrying their weight, but what we find the impact players do differently, and particularly in the most difficult times, is they aren't asking for help. They aren't adding to the burden. They're making work lighter for other people. And it's not that they're taking work off of other people's plates. It's that they don't make hard work harder. They're easy to work with. They're low maintenance. They bring a sense of levity. They're fun. They're people who reduce the phantom workload
So for leaders who say, I get this, but my organization's not on board, or we're not moving fast enough, you have so much agency as any individual who cares about this work. And I think that creative permission is something we want everyone to feel every day, that you're not powerless. You don't have to wait for your organization to already start making tremendous strides in this work.
Pay attention. Believe it the first time. Pay attention differently. It is worth taking the time to understand what's really on someone's mind across from you, and you're gonna see your results completely shift when you start to operate from that information.